very young age, I never felt so, to an extent, limited. As long as I used my voice, I'd be able to get something. And we all have that. Every single one of us has a voice. Every single one of us has dreams, ideals, and visions. One of the themes we're talking about today is about keeping that central to you. So getting back to the whole idea of a boyfriend who's saying, I want you to be mine. If that guy is saying something which is going contrary to your top-end view of what you want in your life, then it's the wrong guy. Because the right person in your life will allow you to do whatever you want, because the happier that you are, the happier the other person feels. It can't be happiness with unhappiness. It just doesn't work. I always talk about a win-win scenario. And some of the discussions I want to talk about also with you today is about you can come from anywhere. We've heard amazing stories of individuals who are now in the public eye, that you heard they came from a small village in the middle of nowhere, and now they've managed to, they've managed to achieve greatness. One of the stories that I'd like to share with you is a guy that I was mentoring for 2 years at ETV a few years ago. His name was Lucky. When I first met him, he was a security guard. And he got to ETV and he already had an instinct because he had a goal. He wanted to get into broadcasting. So his view was, if I can get a job, whatever it might be, in ETV, it will allow me to open the door to meet the right people and then to spread the ideas that he has so he can get the opportunity. So, do you see how it's an interesting thing where you choose to place yourself? So if you're thinking, and just to tell you about Lucky, it took 2 years of mentoring and getting him to slowly shadow and speak to people to the point where he now works in broadcasting final control at ETV. Many other examples. Calvin Ludler. Do you know Calvin Ludler? He is the Zulu newsreader in the evenings on ETV. Calvin Ludler also came as a cleaner. Came through as a cleaner initially and took the time to say take extra courses where possible, speak to HODs to ask for the opportunities, and then slowly got the opportunity, then went for a screen test and got the job. But the job wasn't a job to him, it was what he wanted to do. And that's the most amazing thing. We really only limit ourselves. We don't, no one else limits us. Other people can influence us, but it's still your decision. Ultimately, we might not have anything in the world, but one thing we do have is choice. Our choice to take a bad decision, or our choice to say, you know what, this is my goals, just like my family, this is where I stick true, this is where my flagpole is planted, and I will take my world to anywhere in the world. You know, we were just talking about how I had a chance to work in Holland for a few years. And you know why I did that? Not because I necessarily wanted to go work in Holland, it's because I was thinking to myself, you know, I think I'm good. I think I'm pretty good at what I do. But the international thing, wow, you know how we always feel, oh, if you're international, you must really be incredible. But we limit ourselves, we put that ceiling up, saying, well, let's at least try, see what might happen, and I got the job. It allowed me to come back and say, you know what, I can work with anybody, anywhere, talk to anyone, because I feel good about myself. And you see how the importance of feeling good and keeping central to your core is. Whatever your goals are, and I know all of you do, even though you were shy to do it, and to tell me about your dreams, think about them. Take some time every day, and I do that. I wake up at 4 o'clock every morning. It's actually quite difficult if you think about it. You never get used to waking up at 4 in the morning any time in your life. But every time before I go to work, I take a moment and I say, hey, thank you for what I have. But also I say, I have a responsibility because I wanted this. I now own it. Every morning to deliver news to you is very important. These stories are important. If you think of the old days, news storytellers, that's exactly what they were. I read a story about a gentleman in Tanzania, and he does his news through a small little shed in the center of town. There isn't enough newspapers, so he will then go and get a newspaper and transcribe that, and then he has the community come through and get the news. It all is those little sparks of individuals who saw something and didn't allow anybody else to trump their idea of what they want to become. You are at a very important moment in your life. You can create anything. If you're worried about not getting an opportunity, it's because you're not asking. I promise you. And anything, in any company, you'll be able to get in. Here's a secret of getting into any company in the world. It's just like dating. You know why? If you approach a company, you say, I want a job, and they say, do you know much about us? No. Well, then why must I know much about you? However, if you were saying, I'm looking for this particular company because this is my vision, I want to get into horticulture. You go find the best company and you go research them. And when you contact them, you don't contact HR. You go onto a place like LinkedIn, which is a resource database like Facebook, but for business. So you go and find someone at that company, you find that name. You know the receptionist? If you phone and say, hi, I want HR, you'll get someone who's going to go, oh, and they won't listen to you. But you've now got a name, you phone that company, you say, I would like to speak to so-and-so, and you got that specific name. The secretary won't think anything of it because you have a name. That's the access. You phone the person, hi, I'm so-and-so. You know, I have a very big interest in your company. They go, why? What do you know about us? Well, I know that you've done this, and I know that your research in Japan was incredible, and I know that what you're able to do in Europe was unbelievable, and I want to have the opportunity to shadow the individuals here to see if this is the kind of place that I want to be with.